Fake news media is everywhere these days, and with its gaining popularity, it is causing increased polarization. It is important we understand what is real and what isn't. Starting off with something very relevant right now, there's an alarming amount of people who believe in coronavirus conspiracy theories. Looking at this article from the BBC, we see that even very intelligent people have been misguided and fooled by misinformation posted online. An important strategy to make sure your source is legitimate that I use is a website called MediaBiasFactCheck.com. This website has a database of over 3,000 news sources across the world and is managed by volunteers to stay up to date. As you can see from the screenshot here, the BBC ranks slightly left of least bias and factual reporting scores high. From this, I would consider the BBC to be a legitimate news source overall. A popular website called The Onion is known for their satirical posts and making fun of real news. There are, however, some people who view Onion's content online and believe that it is real. Have a look at some of these ones posted online to Twitter, where people comment thinking they're real. Someone who's well known for their satirical humor is none other than Sacha Baron Cohen. He's known for his film Borat, in which the second one has recently been released. Rudy Giuliani was recently featured in the second Borat and had a questionable role. Here's what Sacha Baron Cohen had to say when asked to comment.
I'm here to defend America's mayor, Rudolph Giuliani. What was an innocent, sexy-time encounter between a consenting man and my 15-year-old daughter have been turned into something disgusting by fake news media. I warn you, anyone else try this, and Rudolph will not hesitate to reach into his legal briefs and whip out his subpoenas. Dziękuję.
Well, I would say that if the president's lawyer found what he did there appropriate behavior, then heaven knows what he's done with other female journalists in hotel rooms.
Besides his personal endeavors, Rudy Giuliani is also known to be an avid spreader of fake news, especially during this year's election. When talking about the spreading of fake news, there's one name that we can't forget, and that is Alex Jones, the host of the infamous InfoWars. Check out this segment done on Vice News on Alex Jones.
You're in a death battle now. You're in a death battle, New World Order. We know. You're in one with us. Comprende? Comprehended? We don't care what you say.
Throughout his 20-plus year career in broadcasting, Alex Jones has transformed from a local celebrity with a public access cable show to the undisputed king of alternative media. His YouTube channel has racked up well over 1 billion views. That's 10 times as many as NBC News' YouTube channel. It's unclear just how much money Jones makes as a conspiracy salesman, but his sprawling, state-of-the-art studio in Austin suggests that business is good. That's because while Jones's views might live on the political fringe, he's no longer a fringe player.
The whole takeover failed, didn't it? And now, who gets to talk to the president? Who gets to talk to the Supreme Court justices? Matt Drudge, Alex Jones.
It might be an exaggeration, but not by much.
Donald, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Alex.
During the campaign, Trump appeared on Jones's show, pitching both his new book and his candidacy, while also heaping praise on the host.
I just want to finish by saying your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed, I hope. And I think we'll be speaking a lot, but you'll...
And after he won in November, Trump made an off-air call to Jones, thanking him for his support.
Leave it to Donald Trump to publicly praise someone as outrageous as Alex Jones. But check out this next clip where things really get interesting.
On a conference room whiteboard, the staff had mapped out media organizations they believe are enemies of freedom.
I noticed that you're the most free and independent is, oddly enough, you.
Yes.
How do you know how we got here?
I was just saying, used to Vice before it was owned by the big wigs would be kind of more over here, but now it's kind of the middle.
So I just want to be clear that Vice is here on the Tyranny and Freedom Index, but these two who are owned by the Kremlin are more free than the media organization that you're talking about.
No, they're up at the top and state run.
But they're also closer to the freedom.
Yeah, I found their stuff to be more based in reality.
Are you fucking serious?
In fact, Sputnik News is Russian-owned and funded and is full of Russian propaganda and conspiracy theories. And according to MediaBiasFactCheck.com, they have an extreme right-wing bias and score very low on the factual reporting spectrum, as you can see here. I even found that Sputnik sources material from Alex Jones, and one of Sputnik's employees has appeared on the InfoWars show with Alex Jones. RT News is just as bad. Now, one of my favorite shows, which is Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, had an awesome segment on Alex Jones. Here's part of it.
Has repeatedly used his show to fuel speculation that the Sandy Hook massacre was staged by the government, which has been deeply hurtful for the parents of those children over the years. That is disgusting, and it should be disqualifying in terms of ever taking him seriously. Sadly, doing things that disqualify you from being taken seriously doesn't really seem to be much of a thing anymore. But there is a piece of context you may be less aware of, and that concerns the nature of Jones's show itself. It is 4 hours long. And if you tune into the whole thing, your most shocking discovery might be how frequently and shamelessly he pitches products that he sells. In fact, remember that clip from him earlier, yelling about snakes? Let's just go back to that and play it out a bit.
Be honorable. Crush the snakes under your feet. Get behind me, Satan. Now, before I go any further, we got to fund this operation. We got the very best nutraceuticals out there. I don't know if I can run this for another week or so. We want to run it through the end of the month. That's like 11 days. Because I don't want it to sell out before more gets in. X2, the good halogen. 20% off InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsLife.com.
Whoa, that is a hard turn to have to make.
So while Alex Jones is selling his products on his website, look who he has to back them up scientifically in this next clip.
Dr. Group's credentials.
It doesn't matter you've got degrees from MIT and everywhere else and a bunch of other degrees. The media makes fun of you and says that you're an idiot.
That's right.
I mean, literally, they say we cannot sell coffee. It's a fraud.
That's right. That's right. I've been a research scientist for a long time. I am MIT alumni, and I can tell you that I do research all the time.
Okay, stop. Look, let's break down that bunch of degrees Jones mentioned. Group does have a Doctor of Chiropractic degree from Texas Chiropractic College, but while he lists all these other schools on LinkedIn, we checked and he didn't graduate from any of them. In fact, we asked him and he admits he does not have an undergraduate degree. And as for whether he's an MIT alumni, he only completed a non-degree certificate program there. In fact, just to be sure, we contacted MIT, and according to them, it is not accurate to say he has a degree from MIT, and calling him an alumni would be inaccurate and misleading.
If that's not fake news, then I don't know what is. Now, on to one of the biggest conspiracy theories ever, 9/11. This article was posted by Popular Mechanics, which if we go back to MediaBiasFactCheck.com, it shows that Popular Mechanics is pro-science, and that means that they don't fall under the spectrum or left or right. They are completely unbiased and use scientific data that has been proven, and the factual reporting score is high. This article clearly debunks any conspiracy theory about 9/11 and proves that the building will collapse without help from explosives as burning jet fuel leaked through the elevator shaft to the lower floors. It also goes on to address one of the main points used to defend this conspiracy, which is that jet fuel can't melt steel beams. While at the reported temperature this is true, it would be able to severely warp and damage the integrity of the steel, enough so that the weight of the building above would cause it to collapse. It's a great read. I suggest you check it out. Now, why is it people believe in conspiracy theories? And more specifically, why do people believe them even after faced with evidence to disprove them? In this next article, also published by Popular Mechanics, they delve deep into why people believe conspiracies and ways to figure out how likely a conspiracy would be. Complicated phenomena don't always have complicated causes behind them. For example, when JFK was killed, people assumed that just being shot was too simple of an answer. For such a simple action to cause such drastic pandemonium, and people clung to the idea that there was something greater at work and used this as a coping mechanism. This is known as proportionality bias, which is a tendency to assume that big events have big causes. So, with that, I hope everyone will dig a little deeper to make sure the things they read and see on the internet are in fact true. You can't believe everything you read, and that has never been more true in the world today.
You